It's been great so far, and I feel so confident.
Actress Rebecca Schaeffer was shot to death Tuesday in the doorway of her Los Angeles apartment.
Well, Sam, I still love you.
The worst fear of an actor, an obsessed stalker out to kill a star he can't get off his mind.
Rebecca Schaeffer's killer only needed one thing to find his victim.
I don't have anything to say.
A form at the DMV.
And I was like, oh my God, I killed her, you know?
No verdict brings the victim back, and that's a hole in their lives forever.
How a 1989 murder changed Hollywood forever.
I am titanium. This could have been stopped.
And why Rebecca's story remains a cautionary tale of star stalking.
I want to do everything, though.
And why not?
Why not? Who cares? Well, it's airing Monday night at 8:30. Patty is 16, and she comes to live with her older sister in San Francisco. She has a lot of energy.
Oregon-raised Rebecca Schaeffer landed what felt like her big Hollywood break in 1986 with the sitcom My Sister Sam.
No, I'm the girl who's getting married today.
After a short stint on soaps, the then 18-year-old actress proved to be the perfect Patty opposite Pam Dawber's Sam.
Why do you think they went with you?
I don't know.
What will I grow up to be like following your example?
The first time I read with Pam, which is when I came out to LA, we really just clicked, you know, and it just worked.
Mork, I don't want to lose you.
You know, when she got Mork and Mindy, she was coming out from New York after modeling there, and I was the same thing.
You stand for the wrong Susie.
So she understood that and really took to me, I think. If I can show that I'm confident about the show and positive about the show, that can be my contribution, and tell people to watch it. Tell my friends to watch it. Mom, turn on all the sets.
Right.
The show only lasted 2 seasons, but Schaeffer kept at it.
I thought I wouldn't see you again. What made me say, it's time to go, you know?
Nice.
I still don't know, looking back. I think I've been very lucky in getting work.
During the summer of 1989, Schaeffer was on the verge of a potentially life-changing audition. The role? Al Pacino's on-screen daughter in the long-awaited next chapter of the Godfather saga.
You ever get feelings that maybe you grew up too fast?
Yeah, I opt for adventure over regret.
In between adventures, Schaeffer lived on Los Angeles' West Side, near a major studio backlot, an outdoor mall, and surrounded by neighbors whose names, like Schaeffer's, could be read outside their homes. Schaeffer's audition was scheduled for July 18th. That morning, she waited at home for a messenger delivering the movie's screenplay.
Our top story at 6 o'clock, police right now are looking for a lone suspect in a Hollywood murder.
The end of Schaeffer's life, career, and dreams made the nightly news.
I was sitting in the living room. I heard a shot followed by 2 cries of pain.
21-year-old actress Rebecca Schaeffer was shot to death this morning in the entryway of her Fairfax District apartment building.
Came out here, called the 911 number. I took towels to staunch the wound. By the time I got back there, I felt her pulse. I couldn't feel anything.
A manhunt for the person at Schaeffer's door was short-lived. He was found the next day, nearly 500 miles away in Arizona.
The accused killer of actress Rebecca Schaeffer is being held tonight in Tucson on a $1 million bond.
Robert John Bardo is 19, and although police won't be specific, they say they have reason to believe Bardo was obsessed by the actress he's charged with killing. Bardo was taken into custody here in downtown Tucson Wednesday morning. Police say he was darting into traffic along this interstate highway, reportedly screaming at passing drivers that he had killed Rebecca Schaeffer.
In fact, there were reports that Bardo made no bones about it. He wanted to kill himself.
19-year-old Robert John Bardo, a name Schaeffer's family, law enforcement, and the entertainment industry would come to know well.
Extradition proceedings are underway to return Robert Bardo to California for prosecution.
I had seen Rebecca 4 months before. She actually was going away to do this movie in Italy, and I hadn't seen her since she'd gotten back.
He spent most of the day in a holding cell. We did 5-minute checks on him all day long, gave him lunch, and he was fairly cordial at times and then withdrawn at times.
I kind allowing my kid sister to live with me.
I'm going to miss her terribly.
With Bardo in custody, Rebecca Schaeffer's loved ones faced grief and confusion.
I was raised by two very positive and loving people, so I think that makes a big difference.
What can we say? On the outside, we're alive, and on the inside, every day is different. And
the night is the worst time for me, you know. I can manage during the day, but at night, because she was our only child, it's not something that you can fix.
The victim, Rebecca Schaeffer, had finished work on 2 new projects.
He's a perfect stranger.
An extraordinary young girl, truly extraordinary. I don't think I've ever known anyone like her. For such a young girl, she embodied all the qualities that a woman twice her age would have.
It's always going to be this way, you know. Missing her so terribly.
Bardo grew up in Tucson, dropped out after his freshman year at Pueblo High. The sign there today read, "Have a safe summer." Several weeks ago, Bardo quit his maintenance job at this fast food restaurant, according to the management. Co-workers there would not talk about him.
As Bardo filed into the Los Angeles courtroom,
I'd like to file with the court a copy.
a now household name was handed the high-profile case.
I simply hope that all of the motions will be ruled on as soon as possible so that we can get this case to trial quickly.
I've never requested to work on any case. I just think that, you know, trouble finds you often enough, you know, never go out looking for it.
The real trouble for prosecutor Marcia Clark, finding her 5 years later during O.J. Simpson's murder trial.
A lot of media involvement in every aspect. You know, you go through those stages as a DA where initially it's kind of exciting, and then it's kind of interesting, and then it's kind of irritating, and then you get past that and it's none of the above.
Other than obviously the crime scene and
I think by the time I got to Simpson, I'd gotten to that stage, and thank goodness. I tend to be as close as I can to the families of all victims. In the case of Rebecca Schaeffer's family, they were very, very warm and very loving.
it seems to me the issues are pretty complicated, and this is a good place to deal with them.
Bardo's court hearings filled in the blanks on his backstory.
Can I get my nose pierced? Dream on, kid.
Showing his obsession with Schaeffer went back years.
I was interviewing the people involved in the studio that had come into contact with him. They had actually seen him come to the studio, bringing her flowers, a teddy bear, all kinds of things.
I said, "Now, what is this all about?" And he proceeded to tell me how much he was in love with Rebecca Schaeffer and how he just wanted to see her. And I explained to him that we just can't do that. I tried to be very businesslike and nice and friendly with him.
And the head of studio security actually sent him away a few times. People just didn't realize that stalkers don't necessarily show how they feel.
Despite all this trouble he raised for security, no one told Schaeffer she had multiple visits from Bardo at her job.
Did he exhibit any signs of hostility?
None whatsoever.
So to the outside world, they may appear to be love-obsessed, or alternatively, the next day, hate-obsessed.
Bardo did turn hate-obsessed. He told police he was upset with seeing Schaeffer moving away from her My Sister Sam image.
I know now. My whole life has been a preparation for this journey.
Robert Bardo requested that we get a mailing address of a young woman he knew.
He went to a private eye and said, I need to find this person. This is her information.
Through a service we subscribe to in this state, we made a motor vehicle and driver's license check.
It was that easy.
I was walking to the convenience store at the end of Sweetser near 3rd, and this man stopped me. He showed me the picture out of this manila envelope. It was kind of an 8x10 glossy. "Have you seen this girl in the neighborhood?" And he put this photo in front of me. I looked at him and said, "What?" And I kept walking.
Thanks to that service at the DMV, Bardo was buzzing the call box at Schaeffer's LA home. She met him at the door, where Bardo presented her with fan mail she'd replied to years earlier.
He was definitely hanging on the street for a long time.
Their talk was brief. Schaeffer went back inside to wait for her screenplay, Bardo retreating to a diner nearby. But an hour later, Bardo returned to Schaeffer's. She again appeared at her door. Bardo pulled a gun, firing once at her chest. Bardo's confession to police revealed the chilling details of her final moments.
Boy, here, left, squirted up, and she's just screaming. She's going, why? Why? She's screaming. She's just straight screaming. She's going, why?
When you walked to the kitchen window, can you tell me what you saw?
I saw a man running out from the door across the street.
And do you see that man in court today?
Yes.
Can you please point him out, sir?
Then Bardo hopped on a bus to ride the 7 hours back to Tucson.
I killed her, you know.
Back in Los Angeles, Schaeffer died at a hospital only blocks away from her apartment. Bardo's fatal bullet piercing Schaeffer's heart.
I call in the case of Robert Bardo, which reflect that Mr. Bardo was present with his...
Bardo's trial didn't start until 2 years after Schaeffer's murder.
Well, wait, no, we have to do this.
In the meantime, Schaeffer's loved ones went to work, filming this PSA about gun violence. On set were Schaeffer's parents and her boyfriend, Brad Silberling.
We're the cast from My Sister Sam. Rebecca Schaeffer was only 21 years old.
Every year in America, 23,000 people are killed by handguns.
After Rebecca was killed, Pam Dawber, I think, was the first to organize things. I think she really mobilized the cast.
So that out of all this horror, something positive could come.
I think everybody has just the feeling that enough is enough. Somebody has got to do something.
It's really great to see that the media can have a very positive influence.
Dawber and her husband, Mark Harmon, were already well aware of stalker dangers.
Mark said when he played football for UCLA, he had death threats before a football game. I mean, you don't know.
It's pretty silly stuff to think that anybody's personal information can be obtained by any bull story.
Dawber's grief drove her to champion a new law, getting rid of the DMV service that gave Schaeffer's unlisted address to Bardo. The bill passed just months after Schaeffer's murder.
Whether that will prevent anything, who knows, you know, but through Rebecca's death, people are forced maybe to take a little bit of a different look at the structure of how things are done.
A year later, California passed the country's first anti-stalker legislation. Of course, too late to help Dana and Benson's only child.
I don't have anything to say.
They were at court every day during Bardo's trial. No 12-person jury, only a judge.
Just for the record.
Bardo had already confessed, weighing in the balance a punishment to fit the crime.
All right, People versus Robert Bardo.
Schaeffer's parents watched as Bardo was found guilty of first-degree murder. His sentence, life in prison with no parole.
I'm sure that they're satisfied with the verdict as far as verdicts go, but the verdict doesn't bring Rebecca back. That's true of every case. That's a hole in their lives forever.
We functioned as a family, and so life loses its bit of meaning for a while.
Since then, everybody has had their awareness raised. They understand that stalking is a dangerous crime, whether the person appears to be dangerous at the moment or not. They can turn dangerous like that.
In the aftermath, Schaeffer's parents got close with her boyfriend, Brad, now a TV and movie director.
You were livid all day because the Carlsons didn't even ask about Diana.
That's right.
It's like you have one thing in common, that person's taken out of the equation, and suddenly you are a new unit.
Their trauma bonding experience inspiring 2002's Moonlight Mile, an indie darling starring pre-fame Jake Gyllenhaal and Ellen Pompeo.
Did she ever talk about me, Joe?
Diana? Yeah, sure.
I met her right when I got out of film school, and what's amazing, it's full circle. She'd be very proud of the film, and it's honesty and it's truth. You know what, it's a Valentine to the experience, and to her family, it's a Valentine to her.
You actually plan to be a doctor or a lawyer?
Right.
Do you ever look at what happened to your life and wonder, where did those dreams go?
I love what I'm doing so much that I feel so confident. You know, I feel so able to do a good job that's what makes me, I think, stay here.
I think there have been some positive things. I always have to believe that something positive comes from every case. And I think if it were to happen today, a security guard on any studio lot would be telling the star about the stalker. Everyone's on their guard, and that may be the biggest benefit.
Stalking. Being in the public eye is pretty crazy just because people actually feel like they know you. I'm so angry. This could have been stopped.
High-profile stalking cases continue to make headlines. One 2016 story triggering a flurry of comparisons to Schaefer on social media. Christina Grimmie, a YouTube sensation turned breakout star of The Voice. She was taking photos with fans after a show when a gunman shot and killed her. The shooter took his own life moments later.
See, now this guy's freezing. Look at him. He's cold. These are the water monkeys.
In the decades since Schaefer's death, stars have become more aware and on guard.
Do you feel scared? I mean, on a regular basis, are you still always kind of looking over your shoulder because some of the experiences you've had?
Yeah, I am scared. I'm always very careful now. You never know who's following you. And you hear all these stories about murders and all these things that happen, and it could happen to anyone.
It's not the way anyone wanted, but like those stars on the Walk of Fame, Schaefer's story solidified a spot for her in Hollywood history.
See, they're saying hi. Hi. Hi, guys. Hi, look, there's a baby. Hi, baby. Oh, he's cute. The little one's really cute. Oh, it's so cute. I know.